Today, I want to talk to you guys about something, and it's taken me a while to figure out how I wanted to articulate this video, but I imagine the title of this is going to be Comparison is the Thief of Joy and Social Media is All Fiction. I don't know if you remember when you were a kid and you'd be playing in the playground or at school and you'd have that toy and you thought it was really cool and you were doing your thing, and then all of a sudden some other kid comes along with an even shinier, cooler toy. And everyone in the playground would then have that kid's attention, and yeah, he became the popular kid, and you thought, damn, why couldn't I have that toy? But then a week later, some other kid had an even cooler toy, and that kid at the start had been forgotten about. Well, this really comes down to essentially comparison stealing away from joy. The joy of your own life, and that is when you compare yourself to other people. I guess there are a few different components to this, but one of the main ones today is definitely social media. I want you to think of like an old Hollywood cutting room floor for movies when films were still on physical film reels. Social media is like this curated false lie about what people and brands want you to think that their life and their products are all the time, when in actuality it's really just a cut gag reel of clips that are far, far from perfect. Now, the problem that this all creates when you see these top 0.1% of people on Instagram and Facebook, and you lift weights and you think, why don't I look like that guy? And it's because, well, that dude's just had a photo shoot and he's been airbrushed and tanned and been jacked out of his brain on roids for years, and even those people don't look like that all the time. But the problem this creates is basically a downward spiral of envy, jealousy, and a destruction of one's own self-worth. So essentially, how do we go about fixing this? Well, I'm not perfect by any means myself, and I sometimes see these people online that have multi-million dollar stock portfolios, and I look at my own portfolios and I get a little bit blue sometimes, and sometimes envious, and I kind of kick myself and think, why didn't I start years before I had actually started putting money into the market? But the biggest thing for you to stop doing this is to realize that the only person you truly compete against in this life is yourself. Now, Jordan Peterson often talks about how a certain person in history, I can't remember his name for the life of me, it might have been Carl Jung, speaks on the death of a parent. Now, this doesn't have to be the physical death these days, but back then it was like when a mother and a father die, a man can truly become himself in the sense of there's no one left to judge him that he worries about. Whereas now I feel like everyone thinks they're being judged for every moment of their day, but people really don't care, and you need to not care as well. So think of this as you don't need the physical sense of death, but if you can truly find what it is that you are aiming to do in life, you need to let go of what other people are doing and just focus on yourself. You're going to need to set yourself a routine and have goals. I know everyone talks about locking in for 12 months and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not even about that. It's about just small things that you can do each and every day to better yourself. So that might mean putting $100 aside out of your budget a week to invest. It might mean, hitting the gym every second day because you know that it's unrealistic that you're going to get there every single day. So be realistic with yourself. But have an end goal as well. Say, all right, I want to make a $5,000 emergency fund. You've got $100 a week out of your budget. It's going to take you a year, but have the end goal in sight and know once you hit that, you've got it done. As well as this, I think another big thing is you just need to have a little bit more gratitude and be grateful on the small things. Almost 50% of the world lack basic sanitation like running water and a roof over their own head. I really think we don't understand how good we've got it. You've got access to modern internet. Sure, jobs aren't the greatest and some people are corporate wage slaves, but it could always be worse. And to be honest, as long as your basic needs are met, everything else is kind of a bonus, and you need to start to think like that. Like when you walk outside, feel that sun on your skin in the morning, look up and go, yeah, nice, I'm alive. Just be grateful for the small things, because after all, none of this social media shit, none of it's real, and none of it even matters. Who cares if you got 100,000 likes on a post on Instagram, Like, sure, money and fame and things come with this, but at the end of the day, The only person you need to compare yourself to is you.